Yes. Kasanovians. You can see that Scunthorpe is looking spectacular. Anyway, in this one, what I want to do is I want to walk you through how to make cold approach work in 2025. So if you're somebody at the moment and you are struggling to get consistent date with women who you're actually excited about, specifically from daytime cold approach, then it's probably not your fault, because you've most likely never been given a proven, reliable, tactical pathway for actually achieving these results. Yeah, so in this video, what I want to do is I just want to break down everything, right? I just want to give you everything you need to get results from daytime cold approach, which means consistent dates, women who are actually excited to come back to your place. I'm just going to give you it all in this video. But if you would just like to skip all the trial and error, if you're sick of consuming content, if you're fed up of banging your head against a brick wall, maybe you've been going out there for years and nothing seems to stick, maybe you've hit a wall, maybe you've hit a plateau, the game is not fun anymore, whatever the fuck it is. If you just want to skip all the trial and error, remove all the guesswork and just get connected with me personally and learn my proven system for essentially just getting results with daytime approach, then you can click the link below. You can apply to work with me. You can join the community, the entourage, and we can just take care of everything for you. So I'm out here in Bali at the moment. So I've got one of our entourage guys out here with me. And dude's been fucking awesome. The guy's only just started his cold approach journey about 4 days ago. And he's already pulled women back to this villa, right? He's already getting results. He's already doing what I'm about to share with you in this video. So I know what works, I know how to get results. So by watching this stream all the way through, I'm just gonna install everything that I know, and hopefully this is gonna allow you to finally get the results that you probably know you deserve as well from daytime approach. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was having an immersion week, okay? So having a week, 7 days, where you properly immerse yourself in this skill. Okay, so here's what I recommend that you do. Take a week off work if you're working a 9 to 5, if you've got your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, even easier. Take 7 days out of your calendar, 7 days out your schedule. Have an immersion week, okay? So for these 7 days, what I want you to do is aim to do 15 direct approaches every single day for the next 7 days. Okay, so by doing this, you're gonna immerse yourself in the skill. You're gonna become consistent. You're gonna get momentum behind you, right? This is a game of momentum, right? So it's kind of like going to the gym for the first time. If you've not been to the gym, if you've not trained for a couple of months, it's gonna feel a little bit clunky at the start, and that's okay. I find that when I'm first working with guys, especially when I'm training them in the field one-on-one, I'm giving them permission to suck at the start, okay? Because I think one of the biggest issues that I see with guys is they're just scared of getting it wrong, right? They're scared of looking like a tit. They're scared of having awkward conversations. They might be scared of weirding the women out and then walking away from that conversation feeling like, I didn't really deliver my true self in that conversation. I didn't really feel like my most authentic self there. But really, at the start, it is just about giving yourself permission to suck. And I recommend, and this is super practical, have your immersion week in a city which is not your home city, okay? Because if you try and have your immersion week in the city that you live, especially if you're living in a small city, it's gonna put pressure on the approaches, right? You might be stuck in your head thinking, shit, do I know this woman? Oh, what if my friends see me approach? Oh, what if my colleagues from work see me approach? What if I get a reputation as a pickup artist in my home city? Then I'm not even gonna be able to go to the supermarket and get groceries because people are gonna be like, oh, that's that pickup guy, right? So to make life easier for yourself, have an immersion week, 15 direct approaches every single day for 7 days. By the end of those 7 days, you've done 105 direct daytime approaches. And when I say direct approaches, I simply mean you walking over to a woman who you find attractive, giving her a hard-hitting compliment. It's none of this weak shit, none of this like, oh, you look nice, or you look cute, or where's Zara, where's Starbucks? No, big set of balls. That is all daytime approach comes down to, right? We had an entourage group coaching call yesterday. So when you're in the entourage, you get weekly calls in the entourage every single week. And what these do is they remind you of what's actually working, right? We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And these like weekly refreshers, right? So for all of our guys, they've all had one-to-one in-person coaching with me, and we get together every single week to remind ourselves of what's working. And the thing we always come back to inside the entourage is balls, right? Balls, balls, balls. That's all daytime approach comes down to, right? Forget about looks, money, status. Forget about, oh, vibe stack. Oh, has she hooked yet? Forget about having clever conversations. Forget about being seductive. Oh shit, am I talking too fast? Or is my dress code on point? Or am I tall enough? Am I rich enough? Am I good looking enough? Like, forget all of this bollocks, right? Instead, understand, audacity is arousing. Right, when you're going over to a woman stone cold sober during the daytime and you give her a authentic, direct, hard-hitting compliment like, you look fucking amazing, you look incredible, you look so good, you're speaking to her biology rather than her psychology. And this is how you win with daytime approach. Not just in 2025, but since the dawn of fucking time. It's like, you're a man, she's a woman, and you like that. It's almost like being the cultured caveman, right? Where you've got sophistication, you're not a complete nitwit, you're not a complete uncalibrated social weirdo, but you've got this cultured caveman vibe where it's like less thinking, more doing. I'm a man, she's a woman, I like that. You look fucking amazing, you look incredible, you look so good. And by having your immersion week outside of your home city, what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to reinvent yourself in an image that you've always wanted to be but been too scared to try, right? So what I found with the guys that I work with, this is like some deep secret sauce that I want to give you here. It's like, within all of us, right? Within all of us, there is this conflict of identity, okay? There's a person who we want to be, the person who we've always been, and the person who we think we should be. And every time you go out there to daytime approach and you are acting in accordance with the ambitions that you've got for your life, you're investing into the identity of the man who you want to embody, right? Because up to this point in your life, you might have played it safe. You might have always settled for the women who you thought you could get rather than going after the ones you actually wanted. Maybe you know deep down that you're capable of achieving more, but you've never had the permission or the structure or the accountability to actually achieve it. Yeah, that's what it was for me. When I first started daytime approach, I was a low-life loser. I had no money. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I found it so difficult to attract women. Like, no woman wanted me. All of my relationships in the past had kind of just been these weird, opportunistic relationships where I met a woman, she would do. It was a case of, I didn't really want her. I just wanted someone, right? I just wanted to be wanted. I wanted validation. I wanted approval. And this is why I try and say to you, daytime approach, it will hold a mirror up to who you are. Not who you think you are, but who you are. Right? All of those self-limiting beliefs, all of those anxieties, all of those childhood fears that you've harbored, they'll all come to the surface with daytime approach. And that's what you want, because daytime approach is the most aggressive form of self-development, right? Forget about go at the gym, forget about gratitude journaling, forget about fucking red light therapy. If you want a way to maximize your lifestyle, to become the most fuckable version of yourself, to live a life free from bullshit, daytime approach. And when you're doing your immersion week, and this is so important, you're not doing the approaches. You're not doing these like 15 direct approaches each day to get the women. You're doing it to get the skill, right? On our group coaching call yesterday, one of our guys in the entourage, he's 43 years old. And within a week of him joining the entourage, he'd already got a girlfriend, right? He didn't even do any in-person coaching at this point. He simply joined the entourage, got around the guys, got connected with me, followed the advice that we gave him. And within a week, he had a 19-year-old Brazilian girlfriend. But he fucked up, right? And he fucked up, and he said on the call yesterday, he fucked up. So the new guys who've joined the entourage recently, this was the advice that he gave to them. He said, for the first year, stay single. If you're gonna get into a relationship with abundance and not scarcity. And like, the way that he expressed this was so beautiful. And I just knew that when I did the stream today, I needed to share this, because if there's one thing you take away from this stream, get into a relationship with abundance and not scarcity, right? Abundance. What is the definition of abundance? Abundance is not always having, it's knowing you can have. Okay, so if you prioritize the skill over the women, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna become the version of yourself who knows he can have. And once you know you can have, you're never needy in your life again. Right? If you historically have settled into relationships because you've not known how to actually replace a relationship, then most of the time you feel it, right? You feel like you could be doing more. You feel like, she's all right, she'll do, but I don't really want to leave this relationship because I don't know how long it's going to be till I get sex again. Oh, but what if I feel lonely? Oh, shit. All this stuff, right? It comes from a lack of abundance, right? But once you've got the skill of daytime approach and you've learned it properly with precision, not this bullshit that other people are teaching online, right? These weirdos online who are telling you that, oh, you need to learn these lines, memorize these routines. Oh, you need to be the performing monkey on the streets. No. The thing that I teach, my personal mechanism, is called anti-game, right? Anti-game artistry. And all we do when guys work with me, especially when they work with me in person, is we just focus on what matters. And the only thing, right, the only things that matter with daytime approach is the open and the close, right? Forget about hooking, forget about vibing, forget about stacking, forget about trying to be flirty or sexual or seductive. Like, just forget about all this bollocks. Anti-game artistry is what gets results from daytime approach in 2025, especially if you're approaching in a city like London, by the way. The girls have heard all this shit before. They've heard the whole like, oh, excuse me, I just saw you and I just wanted to say, oh, what I noticed about you. Oh, you're from France. When I think about France, I think about you with a baguette under your arm, riding a fucking unicycle. It's like, all that shit does not work anymore. I think this is where guys get stuck. This is why guys ask the question, does cold approach still work in 2025? Yes, it still works, but only if you've adapted. If you're still running the same shit that worked 5 years ago, you're fucked. Girls are not gonna wanna talk to you. They're just gonna be like, oh, this is just one of those weird pickup guys with a leather jacket and the fucking rings on his fingers. I'm okay, I've got a boyfriend, right? So cold approach works as long as you're following modern advice with precision, with accountability, with guys around you who are already winning, right? We had an Entourage London meetup before I came out here to Bali. And that was honestly one of the best moments of my coaching career so far. So we went to a private members club in London. So one of our guys has got a membership in a private members club. Whenever we have meetups in London, we all go to this private members club. And there was 8 of us, right? 8 Entourage members around this table in London, and it was one of the proudest moments of my life because everybody around this table was crushing it. Yeah, and one of our newest Entourage members turned to me at the table and he was like, Kristian, how does it feel that all of your clients are fucking smashing it? Right? Because 2 of our guys had to leave early because he had dates scheduled with women who they met that day in London. And like, you know, there's guys online saying, oh, cold approach doesn't work in London anymore. Cold approach doesn't work in the UK. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Of course it fucking works. it works as long as you do, right? That's the whole thing. It works as long as you do, right? When guys join the Entourage now, it's basically impossible for them not to succeed, right? Every guy who works with me, it's fucking easy for me now. I've had over 200 guys get the results they wanted after working with me. We've had guys who've lost their virginities. We've had guys who've come out of divorces. We've had guys who've been in 10-year-long relationships, thought it was game over for them, didn't even know about cold approach, didn't even know how to actually meet women outside of bars and nightclubs. In long-term relationships now, simply by following the system, getting connected with the guys, going out with the guys in cities like London, getting support, getting accountability, getting feedback. It's like, you know, I've done fucking all that, the cockerel's going strong. I've done 3 Muay Thai sessions here in Bali since I've been here for this past week. It's the same thing here. Like having accountability, having feedback, having a coach who pushes me, like you're not gonna build an army of one, right? So it's like, that's how I've always learned skills. Yeah, I got coached with daytime approach 6 months into my career because I knew that if I really wanted to become elite at this skill, I had to learn from people who were further ahead than me. So it's like, you just find people who you resonate with, and then you get them to help you. But around this table in London, watching everybody, like listening to the stories, it kind of saddens me in a way to think that there are guys out there who are struggling with daytime approach when they don't fucking need to. Right? Like, even if you don't resonate with me, find somebody who you resonate with. Find a community of like-minded guys. Even if you just got like one wing in your city who you go out with, you know, start a little WhatsApp chat, a little WhatsApp thread, voice message each other, hold each other accountable when you're out in the field. when you're out in the field, just send videos and voice messages and push each other. Like Joseph said in the Entourage, it's not a solo sport, it's a team sport and it's an extreme sport, right? So when you are going out there, just make sure you've got at least one person to push you. I think we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. What's that quote? Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Yeah, you surround yourself with winners, that's how you win. So yeah, in London, like having these guys, like hearing the wins, it was like, yeah, of course this fucking works, but you need to make sure that you've got the right systems in place. So having an immersion week, yeah, 15 direct approaches every single day for 7 days. By the end of that, you've done 105 approaches. It takes around 100 direct approaches to start to develop proficiency. And this is why it's important you just give yourself permission to suck at the start, right? These 105 approaches that you do on your own, ideally in a big city. Yeah, so if you live in a city, let's say in the UK, like Leeds, like I used to live in Leeds, don't do your immersion week there because the volume, the foot traffic is just not going to be there. Go to a city like London. If you're in the USA, go to New York. Find the biggest city in your country. Or if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner like the guys who I work with, just book a flight somewhere, right? If you're living in Malaga at the moment, just book a flight over to London, do your immersion week there. You've got full anonymity, so you can recreate yourself with every approach that you do. That's what I love so much about daytime approach. Like, you can recreate yourself in a single approach. Yeah, like you can walk over to a woman who doesn't know who you are and you can practice being a version of yourself that you've always wanted to be but been too scared to try, because you become what you practice. Yeah, because you've already got everything inside of you, right? You know when you see a beautiful woman what you want to do, right? You know you want to just walk over there, big set of balls, compliment her, whisk her away, pull her back to your place, just have an incredible time with her. But it's the conditioning which fucks us over, right? We live in this society that wants to keep you small. I call it the great sedation. And this is what most guys don't understand about daytime approach. Daytime approach is about freeing yourself from the shackles of society. Yeah, every time you see a woman who you want to approach, but you don't approach her out of fear or perceived fear, you are effectively saying to society, I am happy to be a programmable pawn. Yeah, every ad that you see, every app that you scroll, every excuse that you tell yourself, it's not you. It's being fed to you. It's bullshit, right? So this is why daytime approach, it's freedom from bullshit. It's about freeing yourself from all of the bullshit which has historically held you back and recreating yourself through the fires of adversity. This is why it's the most aggressive form of self-development. Right after you've done your immersion week and you've got 105 direct approaches under your belt, maybe you've gone on dates, maybe you haven't. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't go on dates. It's important that you prioritize the skill at the start and not the women, because once you've got the skill, it's kind of like being a self-made millionaire, right? I work with guys who are doing well financially, like very fucking well. Like in the Entourage, we've got 6, 7, even 8-figure entrepreneurs, business owners, digital nomads, pirates, mavericks, renegades. Like, daytime approach is not for normal men. This was an epiphanova that I had the other day. It's not for normal men, right? If you want to live an ordinary life and do ordinary things and date ordinary women, make ordinary money, have ordinary social skills, that's fine. This is probably not for you. I'm certainly not the coach for you, but if you're somebody who wants it all, you want to become elite, you are a pirate, a maverick, a renegade, you are a freedom from bullshit practitioner, and you just want it all, right? You don't just want women, but you want freedom in all areas of life: power, influence, social mastery, wealth, lifestyle. Like, this is what we're building inside the Entourage. We're not pickup artists, we're not cold approachers. We're freedom from bullshit practitioners. And by the end of the immersion that you do on your own, you'll almost see the matrix. You will see the power of this. You'll become a new person. And then the person you become through daytime approach, it'll spill over into all other areas of your life. You'll take more risks. You'll take more bold action. Your friends will start looking at you and be like, oh, you've changed. And you'll be like, yeah, motherfucker. And you haven't. And that's why you're salty. So have your immersion week, 15 direct approaches every single day for 7 days. Once you've done those 105 direct approaches, now you've got momentum behind you. With this momentum behind you, go back to your home city or wherever else you're going after this, and then have an integration week, okay? Have an integration week. So once you've got this momentum behind you, when you're in the city of your choice, so maybe you go back to Leeds or fucking Hull or, I don't know, Guatemala, It's a country, isn't it? When you go back to your home territory, now you've got this momentum, you're just going to integrate the skill, okay? So everything you did on your own in your immersion week, you're just going to start integrating it. So I would recommend, once you go back to your home city, aim to do 15 approaches every single week, okay? So you've done 15 a day at this point. When you get back to your home city, do 15 a week. And what's important, because sometimes what can happen is guys can almost go back to square one, right? They've had their immersion week, everything was amazing, and then life can get in the way. Okay, so this is why it's important that you've got some form of accountability, right? This is what we do with guys in the entourage. We hold them accountable. They get part of the private WhatsApp group. As soon as they join the group, they're seeing other guys achieving these crazy results, and they're like, oh shit, this is actually possible, right? It gives them permission to go out and achieve these things as well. So again, we've set this entourage up in a way that it's impossible for our guys not to succeed. If you want to learn more about the entourage and what we do and the results that we get, so you know that I'm not talking out my ass, click the link below. It'll give you all the information that you need about joining the entourage. Integration, okay? And the easiest way to integrate this skill, once you've got that immersion week behind you, is through intention, okay? So before you leave the house each day, set the intention, and you literally just say this to yourself, okay? So before you leave the house, you say to yourself, when I see women who I find attractive, I will go over and I will give them a hard-hitting compliment. Because what this is doing is it's socially and mentally lubricating you, right? Because what will usually happen is guys will see women who they want to approach, but then excuses will start flooding into their brains. Like, oh, I'm not ready, or I've just come out the gym, or it's not the right time, or I'll get the next one. No, don't let these golden opportunities go past you, because this woman who you're just letting walk on by, she might be your future wife. She might be the mother of your children. She might be your next girlfriend, right? So rather than feeding yourself this excuse, set the intention. Say to yourself, when I see a woman who interests me, I will go over and I will give her a hard-hitting compliment. So by doing this, you prime your mind ready for action. And then when you see sexy Susie struck past you, when she's coming outside of Waitrose, there will be less hesitation now, because you've already made that promise with yourself. And this is why having that accountability is so powerful, because what our guys do in the entourage, because they've got access to the private WhatsApp group, they will send voice messages whilst they're out in the field to hold themselves accountable, right? So that, right, boys, out today, gonna hit 5 approaches, I'll report back once I've done it. And then as soon as it's said, it's done. Right, because nobody wants to be a pussy. That healthy male competition kicks in, right? Nobody wants to be that guy who pussies out of the intention that they set. We had a new member who joined the entourage recently, and he went out yesterday into London, got his first phone number purely from the permission that the entourage gave him. Because usually what happens when guys join the entourage is they get around guys who are further ahead than them, but guys who used to be where they started as well. And I think this is probably the most valuable thing about watching content such as mine is we all started out as shit, right? You can just go back onto the oldest videos on my channel and just see how shit I used to be, right? All of the guys in the entourage, we all used to be shit. We all started off as beginners, okay? But like, once you understand, we're all operating on our own timeline. Everybody started off as shit. It kind of, I think, helps the beginner mind, because it's like, okay, if this guy is doing it, then I can do it as well. Like the entourage guy that I've got out here in Bali, he's 52 years old, right? 52 years old, absolutely crushing it now. He's only just started 4 days ago. He's already pulling sexy Italian women back to this villa. We've got other guys in the entourage in their 50s. One of our guys, we call him the Iceman. He worked with me in London last February, followed the system, took my advice, got connected with the rest of the guys. He's fucking got dates on demand now. Last Sunday, he's going on 2 dates with women who he met in London. He's living this international lifestyle where he's going between different cities. He's got women in every city that he visits. A guy in his 50s, a guy who thought, oh, it was game over for him. You know what I mean? He tried to go out there on his own, put the reps in London. He was like, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I don't have time to piss away anymore. So he got in contact with me. Took him through the system. That's already worked for over 200 guys. Bob's your fucking uncle. Now he's in a good place. So all these excuses that guys tell themselves, like, oh, am I too young for this? You know, I've got guys in the entourage who are 21 years old who are absolutely smashing it. I've got guys in their 50s, guys who came out of divorces, guys who used to be virgins, guys who thought it was like, oh, this is not possible for me because I'm the wrong race, or I'm not tall enough, or I'm not making enough money right now. All of this blah, blah bullshit. That's what the entourage allows guys to do. It's to overcome all of these self-limiting beliefs. So whatever self-limiting belief you're currently telling yourself, I guarantee I've got stories from the entourage that can help eradicate this. I had a guy the other day who was like, oh, this won't work for me because I'm 5'8". I'm like, dude, Efrem, one of my like most elite clients, Efrem, is 5'8", right? And he did his immersion with me in Warsaw. One of his self-limiting beliefs was, oh, I won't be able to attract women in Poland because I'm black. And I said to him, dude, that's the exact reason why you're gonna crush it in Warsaw, because of rarity, because women don't see guys like you every single day. So in Warsaw, you can leverage rarity. That's what he did. You can see his testimonial. The link below will take you to my landing page, and there's like a kind of like a VSL on there, and it's Efrem talking about his experience of working with me. Again, you show up, you do what we say, you get the results that you want. So immersion week, 15 direct approaches every single day for 7 days. Then you have your integration week. So aim to do 15 approaches every single week when you're back on home turf. And because you've done your immersion week in a city where nobody knew you, it gives you complete license to burn that city to the ground, right? So you can do audacious approaches. You can go to the gym, you can go to the supermarkets, you can go to the bookshops and the cafes and the restaurants and just approach whoever you want to, because you're most likely never going to see these women in your life again, right? This is what I say to guys when I work with them in person. If a guy's got hesitation, I just say to them, dude, you're probably never going to see this woman in your life again. Oh, but what about people? What if other people are watching me? It's like, yeah, fuck it, right? If a guy sees you approaching, he's either jealous or he respects it. And if a girl sees you approaching another girl, she secretly wishes it was her, right? Because it makes women feel beautiful, desired, and sexy. If you can be a guy, big set of balls, go over there, hey, you look fucking amazing, I want to take you out on a date. Like, what woman doesn't want to be doesn't want that invitation? So have your immersion week, have your immersion week lead into integration. So now you're learning the skill, but it's like it becomes something you are rather than something you do. Right? So this is where the identity shift happens. Once you've had the full immersion, you've done your 15 approaches every single day for 7 days, now you start integrating it into your busy lifestyle. And remember, the most important thing when integrating is to set the intention before you leave the house, or whilst you're out there in the field, right? If you've got a group of guys around you, just send a voice message, right? Boys, I'm out here in the field. The intention today is to get 5 approaches with women who I'm actually excited about, and I want to close at least 3 of them by actually going for the phone number. That's huge as well. Like, remember, before I said, in the system that I teach, anti-game artistry, there's only 2 elements that really matter, open and close. So what I would suggest you do during that immersion week is prioritize closing as much as opening. If you need like an actual video which shows you anti-game artistry in action, the main video on my channel, it's I approached 33 girls in London to overcome my fear of rejection. That is like anti-game artistry in action. In that video, I prove to you, you don't need game. Right? You don't need all of this horse shit like, oh, push-pull vibe stack, oh, has she hooked yet? You don't need this like manipulation disguised as game. All this bullshit that other morons are teaching online, which just makes you feel more lost and confused than when you first started. I just simplify the whole process, right? Open and close. That's all it comes down to. So once you get comfortable with opening, so giving those direct compliments, make sure you're also pulling the trigger and going for contact details as well. Because sometimes what will happen with guys is they don't have approach anxiety anymore, but they have closing anxiety. And it's kind of more weird if you've walked over to a woman, give her a hard-hitting compliment, she's super receptive, and then you just walk off into the distance, right? She's like, what the fuck was that about? Is this guy gay or something? So once you've gone over and the woman is clearly receptive, even if you think, oh shit, I've run out of things to say, or I don't know what to do next, just go for the contact details. Literally just say, what's the best way for me to contact you? Or are you on WhatsApp whilst pulling your phone out, right? Assume the close. Because if during your immersion week, you can become elite at opening and closing, that is cold approach right there, right? And I do feel sorry for guys who get overstimulated with information. Right? You don't need any more information. What you need is implementation. That's why I give information away for free, because I understand information is not that valuable, right? How many podcasts have you listened to? How many videos have you watched? How many coaches have you taken advice from? And if you're still on that hamster wheel of consuming content, information isn't what you lack, it's implementation. So that's why I give away information and I charge money for implementation, because information on its own is not valuable, right? So don't just watch these videos for entertainment. Yeah, watch them and then go out and actually do something with them. So the next thing that I would say is have an obsession period. So I would say content like this only becomes useful when you're actually out there in the field, okay? So there are a lot of guys who watch videos, but they just they haven't done anything yet, right? It's kind of like watching videos on how to bench press and never going to the gym. It doesn't really make any sense. You might as well just like whack yourself off to like snowflake porn or something, right? So it's like, it doesn't make any sense if you're just consuming content. So what you need is and this begins with your immersion week, okay? So have a 90-day obsession period, right? So once you've done your immersion week, right, and you've got reps, you've got points on the board, give yourself permission to then become obsessed with the world of daytime approach. This is what I did, right? This is what I did when I started. I just gave myself permission to become obsessed with the skill. So I watched the videos, I listened to the podcast, I plugged into other people's streams, because now I'd almost earned the right to do it. Okay, so if you've been out there in the field and you've done 105 approaches in 7 days, yeah, you've earned the right to consume some content. So what I would say, the best way to use my content is listen to my live streams whilst you're out there in the field. This is what Genki was doing, the Japanese guy that I coached in London recently. When he wasn't having coaching sessions with me, he had my live streams playing in his ear. And it just gave him this constant kick up the arse to take action, despite his fears or his doubts or his worries. So once you are taking action, it's cool to watch content. It's cool to plug into these live streams. It's cool to watch my videos for a refresh, because now you're in the field now, right? You are an action taker rather than a static spectator. So I would say have a 90-day obsession period where you almost forget about everything else, right? You forget about everything else and daytime approach becomes your priority, because I don't see the point in getting started with anything unless you're prepared to be the best in the world at it, right? The guys in the entourage, we're not normal individuals, right? We don't just want to get good. We want to become fucking excellent, right? And again, you surround yourself with winners, you win, right? So we just want to become elite. We want to become the best in the world. We want to become social fucking savages, because obsession equals progression. If you become obsessed, you will progress. Going halfway with half a heart only digs a deeper grave. So I think if you're going to get started with something like daytime approach or something like a martial art or wanting to get into elite physical condition, become obsessed, right? Why not become the best in the world? Why do you just want to make 5K a month? Why don't you want to make 50K a month, 100K a month, right? And again, it's not normal ambitions. Like I would say I'm more extreme in my ambitions, and the guys in the entourage are extreme in their ambitions as well, because look, dude, we get one shot, we get one shot at this life. Yeah, so I don't want to get to the end of my days thinking, fuck me, I could have done more. I could have taken more risks. I could have taken more bold action, but I played it safe. I settled. Yeah, I don't want that shit, right? I don't want that. So I just think get obsessed with it. Get obsessed. Yeah, have your immersion week, then start integrating, and then just have a 90-day obsession period where you're just an absolute savage with it. I think what's important as well is when you are going and doing your approaches, just start recording the audio of your conversations. I bang on about this all the time, but very, very few guys actually do it, and that's why they're still struggling. If you don't have a point of reference, then it's impossible to know what you need to improve. It's like aiming at a constantly moving target, or it's kind of like practicing bad form at the gym until you get yourself an injury, right? So if you record the audio of your conversations, you'll quickly find out what you're shit at. So when I was learning daytime approach, I was pretty much shit at everything, right? I was talking too fast. My conversations never went past that platonic chit chat. My opens were weak. My closes were weak. I gave off these like gay best friend type of vibe because I had a lot of sexual shame that I didn't even realize that I had. That's why I said at the start, daytime approach will hold a mirror up to who you are as a man. By the way, if you're enjoying this stream, drop it a like. Drop it a like if you're enjoying the free value that we are dripping out on this beautiful Monday afternoon in Bali. Drop it a like. Tells me that you're enjoying the stream. So, that fucking cockerel, man, that's going to get his head chopped off soon. To get it ready for the broth. It's fucking changing Scunthorpe. But yeah, record the audio of your conversations. Just use a voice recorder app on your phone, capture the audio through your headphones. If you're in the entourage, you can send me your audio infield footage as well. So you don't even need to be with me in the same city. You can literally send me audio footage. You can share audio footage with the rest of the guys. We can break it down on our weekly group coaching calls. Again, the entourage is set up in a way which is designed to make it impossible for you not to succeed, right? So if you go out there, you record some of the audios of your conversations, you send some over to me, I can be like, right, bro, you're talking too fast, you're open shit, and you're not even going for the close. Boom, now you know what you need to do, right? That's how you turn decades into days. It's not about 10,000 hours, it's about 10,000 iterations. If you just continue practicing the wrong thing, you will become great at being shit, right? Nobody wants that. So when you are going out there in the field, start recording the audio of your conversations. The main thing that I would look for when I'm listening to your conversations is how strong is your open, right? Because the open is everything, especially those first 3 seconds of the approach. Let me just break it down here in tactical detail, because if you can nail this, daytime approach will become a lot easier. So like when you are doing your approaches, just focus on the open, right? Just focus on the first few seconds. Don't think too many steps ahead. Don't experience failure in advance. Don't reject yourself on behalf of the women. Just focus on the open. Just focus on the first few seconds. And all this looks like in practical detail is you walk over to a woman who is walking, you say, excuse me, right? You get her attention. You make eye contact with her. You stand in front of her. So now you're locked into this private bubble. Look at where her feet are pointing, because a person's feet will always point in a direction that they want to travel. So the ideal formation is like her feet and your feet are pointing towards each other. Now you're locked into a conversation. You don't compliment the woman until she's stopped and until you've got her full attention. A big mistake that I see guys make is they'll walk over to a woman, the woman has not really stopped, the woman is not turned to face them, she's not really looking at them, and then they'll just spit out a compliment. And usually this feels more like a good Samaritan type of approach, where she thinks that all you wanted to do was give the compliment and then walk off. No. Make sure she's stopped. Make sure she's actually looking at you. Get closer than you usually would. The guy that I'm working with out here in Bali, that's what we've been repping out, right? That's what we've been repping out here. Getting nice and close, having that man-to-woman vibe. And yeah, it might feel weird. You might be a guy who's harboring sexual shame. Maybe you're living your life like a closet heterosexual. You think it's wrong to be a man and have desire and find women attractive. So then you use this random like coping mechanism, like, oh, cold approach is low value. Oh, if you approach a woman, you give her a compliment, you're giving your power away. And it's like, I understand why guys think this, and it really isn't your fault. It's a conditioning that has been fed to you by your parents, the media, the fucking government, whoever the fuck it is. All this bullshit, right? The main thing with daytime approach, and I would say any decision you make in life, and this is like some like deep level secret sauce here, and this, if you understand this and if you internalize it, it will change the way you show up in the world. The only operating system that I abide by now is abundance or scarcity. Okay, so when I'm making a decision or when I'm taking an action, is this action coming from a place of abundance or is it coming from a place of scarcity? Because if you're a guy and you're worried about running out of things to say, if you're worried about being perceived as being low value, if you're scared about how women are going to perceive you, all of this is coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of scarcity. Oh, but what if I compliment and I give my power away? What if a woman thinks that whatever it is? It's like when you're in abundance, like when your cup is so full that all you want to do is give. Like imagine you had 10 beautiful women in your phone who were desperate to see you tonight. You wouldn't give a flying fuck, right? You'd be more carefree. You'd be non-needy. You'd be detached from outcome. You'd be more self-amusing because the person who has the most cares the least. And you can act as if you already are this version of yourself. That's what I did. When I first started Daytime Approach, when I was a porn addict, when I had erectile dysfunction, when I didn't have any women, I didn't have any money, I was living in a grotty apartment in Central Leeds, I just acted as if I already was the version of myself that I wanted to be, right? So the version of me that's speaking to you today, I created him in my mind. Right, this lifestyle that I'm living now, the international lifestyle, having this community of like-minded guys, being the best in the world at what I do, which is helping guys unlock their true potential, freeing themselves from bullshit so they can get dates on demand with wife-worthy women. Again, look at the testimonials, click the link below, see all the guys I worked with. I'm not just talking out my ass, right? Like, I understand that when guys work with me, it's easy for me now. Right, I don't care what your starting point is. I don't care if you were bullied as a kid. I don't care if you had trauma. I don't care if you were fucking abandoned. I get it, right? I don't care about that shit. I just give a fuck about who you want to be, right? Because if you get clear on who you want to be, then we can reverse engineer it. We can act as if you already are that version of yourself. Like Neville Goddard said, you can assume the state of the wish already fulfilled, right? This really is a game of identity. It's not about what you say. It's not about how you say it. It's who you are when you say it, okay? So the actual stop itself, very important. Go over, get her attention, hard-hitting compliment, and if you're recording the audio of your conversations and you've got somebody to give you feedback on what you're doing wrong, that's how you can just speed up the entire process, right? I think there's so many guys who've been following cold approach content for years. They've never had feedback, they've never had accountability, they've never just had no bullshit coaching, where somebody like me sits down with them and been like, right, dude, this is what you need to work on. This is why you're not getting results. Listening into their conversations and be like, right, this, and this needs work. So the next approach that you do, don't do this again, do this again, and send me the footage once you've done it so I can actually give you feedback and make sure you've actually achieved it. So the other thing, so that was the sort of like the 90-day obsession period, right? Just so I know you're clear on what you need to do. Have your immersion week, 15 direct approaches every single day for 7 days. Go back to your home city. Now do 15 every single week. Set an intention before you leave the house. It should be fun, by the way, as well, right? Cold approach should be fun. That's why it's important that you've got a community of like-minded guys around you, because talking to attractive women, it should feel fun, right? It should be something that you actually look forward to. Yeah, but you know, it's a little bit like going to the gym at the start. At the start, it does feel like a little bit of a grind. It feels like a little bit of a slog. Oh, fuck, I need to get my ass there. But you know, a lot of the time, it's just being in the arena. That's what I said to one of our new entourage guys recently. A lot of the time, it's just getting your ass out the door and just doing that first approach. And I would recommend something super practical as well. As soon as you leave the house on any given day, just approach somebody. Just open the first person who walks past you. It might be a grandma. It might be a middle-aged woman. It might be a guy who's got a nice pair of trainers on. Just like, dude, those trainers are fucking amazing. Where did you get them from? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to get myself a pair. Have a good day. Yeah, it might be a grandma. Just walk over to her and be like, oh, you look incredible. I want to take you out on a date using WhatsApp. It doesn't matter. It's just important that you get your vocal cords firing as soon as possible. It matters that you overcome that resistance as soon as possible, because the longer it takes you to get that first approach out the way, the more you'll fester in your mind, like fucking Uncle Fester, and the less likely it is that you'll actually do it. So get that first approach out the way ASAP. That will set you up for success. And then what I would suggest, and this is really important as well, is define what success actually looks like to you. Right? Because a lot of guys who learn daytime approach, they're living like accidents, or they've been brainwashed by the brain dead into wanting to want what other people have told them they should want to want, right? Maybe you're watching content from these like bozo hyper-masculine dudes with 7 Lamborghinis on the driveway being like, you need to be a high-value man, you need to date multiple women, you need to have a fucking harem, otherwise you're not a real man. All this fucking bullshit, right? What do you actually want? Because most of the guys I work with, they just want girlfriends, right? They just want to have a best friend who they can have sex with, right? So what do you want? Not what you've been told you should want to want. You know, guys will sometimes come to me, guys in their late 30s, and they'll be like, I'll say, you know, like, what is it that you actually want? Like, what do you want from daytime approach? And they'll say something egotistical, like, oh, you know, like, I want a rotation of women, right? And then I'll be like, okay, cool. But like, why do you want that? And is that actually what you want? And usually, the deeper that we dig, we realize they just want to have a girlfriend, right? They want a long-term partner. Guys in the entourage, they want to get married. They want to start families. So it's like getting down to the essence of you and defining what success with cold approach actually means is so important, because if you know that you want a girlfriend, then that makes cold approach so much fucking easier, because you only need one. You only need one woman to think you are incredible, a woman who you also think is incredible, and you've cracked the dating game, right? And this is why part of the system that I teach, anti-game artistry, it's not about trying to be attractive. It's instead trying to be repulsive, not in some vulgar, obscene way, but when I say be repulsive, what I mean by that is repelling women who were never meant for you in the first place. I think one of the biggest marketing lies that has been told to men, especially in the men's dating space, is you can have any woman that you want. It's complete garbage. You can't have any woman. You can have your woman, or you can have your women. right? So the goal isn't to be everything to everybody. The goal is to be a somebody for the right somebodies, right? When I'm creating these videos, when I'm putting my thoughts out there, when I'm expressing myself in this raw, authentic way, my intention for this content is not for everybody to like me. I want people to hate me. I want people to fucking detest me. I want 90% of the people who watch these videos to think, I don't like this guy. This guy's a weirdo. I never want to work with this guy in my life. Because that's polarization, right? And then there will be a small pocket of people who watch these streams who fucking love me, who resonate deeply with my message, who seriously consider joining the entourage and getting connected with me personally, traveling the world with me, because I'm not trying to be everything to everybody. I'm simply trying to be a somebody for the right somebodies. A really great piece of literature for this is, it's called 1,000 True Fans, right? If you're somebody who is aspiring to build a business at the moment, maybe an online business, making internet money so you can travel the world and live a life of free from bullshit, 1,000 True Fans explains that you only need 1,000 people who fucking love you. And if 1,000 people give you $1,000, you've got a decent business there, right? So you don't need everybody. You just need to be famous for a few. And it's the same with dating. You don't need to try and get every woman. You don't need to try and be universally attractive. The way that you crush it in the dating game, if you follow the model that I've created, which is anti-game artistry, it's simply amplifying what is authentic to you, right? So if you're somebody and you like, I don't know, Star Wars, and you're a bit of a fucking nerd and you dress a certain way, it's like, don't try and hide that. Don't try and be what you think she wants you to be. Instead, amplify what's authentic to you, right? Because when you do that, you polarize and you'll naturally find your people and you'll repel the rest, right? I'm weird, right? I'm a weird person. So the women who I attract, they really fuck with me, because the thing is with it, this is really important as well. With old school, like, pickup advice, it was all about the 10-minute sales pitch. It was all about masquerading as somebody who you weren't. But the issue with this is a mask is going to slip, right? If you actually get into a relationship with a woman, she's going to fall in love with the idea of you and not the actual you. And you need to continue being the version of yourself that she fell for in the first place, right? So what I say to my guys and the system that I teach inside the entourage, anti-game artistry, is rather than leading with pretense, rather than pretending to be something you're not at the start, lead with radical, ruthless authenticity, right? Because that way, there's no bullshit anymore. It's like, this is me, take it or leave it. And that is the most abundant way to approach, because if you did have 10 women in your phone who were desperate to go on a date with you, that's how you would act, right? It's like, this is me, take it or leave it. So once you've defined what it is that you want, let's say you want a girlfriend, you're not trying to mold yourself into what you think she wants you to be. You're simply learning who you are, you're connecting with your most authentic self, and from that place of authenticity, that's how you find your women, right? And I do think just taking massive amounts of action, especially with daytime approach, it's going to give you a sense of justified arrogance, right? I think making cold approach work in 2025, the guys who I work with inside the entourage, they've got value to give, right? I don't work with broke losers who just want to sit around and complain all day. Like, you can go and buy some like fucking $5 ebook. I work with guys who are doing well in their lives, right? Entrepreneurs, business owners, digital nomads, high-performing, busy professionals. And when I work with them, a lot of the time what we're doing is reminding them of who they are, yeah? Like, we've got guys, like new guys who've joined the entourage, and at the group coaching call yesterday, one of our new members was kind of meditating on, just kind of like in a bit of a cycle of worry, like kind of like worried about how the approaches were going to go. And I said to him, dude, just remind yourself of your worth. Look at you. Like, you look great. You are doing jujitsu, right? You are doing well in your career. It's like, we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. All the guys in the entourage, I think we all suffer with this sense of imposter syndrome. Like, oh, why would she choose me? Because it's kind of like, we all carry that scared, lost little boy inside of us, right? That kid inside of us who just wants to be wanted, who doesn't think he's worthy, who battles with that perceived lack of self-worth. And it's like, even though you might have improved the external, your fitness, your fashion, your finances, what I see with a lot of the guys inside the entourage is when they walk over to that beautiful woman, they still feel like the ugly duckling on the inside, right? Their internal hasn't caught up with their external. So a big part of what we do inside the entourage is reminding guys of their worth and giving them the permission to operate with justified arrogance. Yeah, she's going to be lucky to get to meet you today. She is auditioning to be part of your reality. And it's not delusional, it's justified. Because if you look at all the things you've achieved in your life, all the obstacles you've had to overcome, all the bullshit you've had to go through, all of the hurdles you've had to jump over to get to where you are today, that's the energy that you want to move with, right? Move like you are the most fuckable man on the planet. Like, why not? Because even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it, right? I want you to go away with that thought today. If there's one thing that you take away from this stream, belief follows action. Right, you're not going to think your way into a confident state. You're not going to have justified arrogance if you're just sat on your ass consuming content. What we need is real world experience. You'll start to develop this action taker aura, especially when you've done those 105 daytime approaches in succession across 7 days. You will become a new person. You will feel like a social weapon. You'll start to enter this social God flow that I call godly frequency, where you'll start to see women and you'll experience success in advance. You'll start to have more of this justified arrogance, because most guys are never going to do this, right? 99% of guys on the planet are never going to have the balls to walk over to women, stone cold sober, give them compliments, close, text, take them on date, lead, escalate, just really marinate in their masculine essence. Like 99% of guys are never going to do this, right? So just by going out there and putting the reps in, this is how you can develop justified arrogance. Even if you don't have a lot of money right now, even if you're still building your value as a man, like we're all works in progress. But I think getting to the end of every single day and feeling exhausted with accomplishment, like leaving nothing on the table, knowing you gave everything, knowing you took so much radical action today that you have invested into the identity of the man who you want to embody over a long enough time horizon, you'll become the version of yourself you've always wanted to be, but maybe haven't had the permission to become yet. Yeah, so if you would like to work with me, if you would like to get connected with our private network, if you just want to jump right in now, like if you're just sick of consuming content, you're ready to make this work, like finally make this work in 2025 and beyond, you're sick of consuming content, you don't want to waste years playing trial and error, there's a link below. You can find out more about the entourage and what we do. If it's right for you, awesome. If not, continue enjoying the content. If you have enjoyed this live stream, drop it a like. I really hope this has been valuable for you boys. This is just me speaking off the cuff for authenticity. Even if one thing I've said has been useful, then I appreciate that. I love you all very much, and we'll talk again soon. All right.